Welcome to Unlocking Levels, helping you reach new levels in your potential. What's good, y'all? Happy New Year and welcome back to Unlocking Levels. This is the first podcast episode of the year 2026. We out here. We finally here. It's time. Man, and it's been a long while since the last time we connected, since the last time I dropped something. So I take full accountability on that. Just to give you a little insight into what's been going on in my life, I will kind of try to sum it up and just say it's been a lot. I think overall, I put a high emphasis on just being present wherever I'm at. So, a lot of things have kind of taken a back seat, you know what I'm saying? And constantly every day I'm still on the same program, right? Trying to get a little bit better each day, trying to improve what I do little by little, 1% every day, and just fine tune and refine what I got going on, the programming I got going on. So, with that being said, 2025 ended, in a way that it usually does for me. I usually stay really locked into what I'm doing. I'm very invested in my health, very invested in maintaining good habits, building on good habits, staying away from bad habits, and again, just trying to fine tune what I got going on, right? So it was a hell of a year. 2025 was a hell of a year for sure. I went through a lot of different things, a lot of different challenges, a lot of difficult times, a lot of challenging moments, a lot of uncomfortability, and just a lot of mental battles that I had to kind of fight my way through due to some of the things that were happening in my life during last year. But overall, so many lessons, so many valuable lessons, and I'm very grateful for 2025 and what it's brought. Taught me a lot, helped me grow in so many ways, expand my mindset, understand truth at a deeper level. I'm constantly in pursuit of truth and seeking a higher truth every single day, just observing the world, observing life, observing myself, my thoughts, and how it all correlates and connects. So 2025 was a huge year, and I do foresee 2026 being a year that I could share a lot more of that, a lot more of the lessons, a lot more of the just experiences that I've had that have really taught me a lot, and I've internalized in my own way, and I'm starting to apply them to my own life. And again, you guys know the goal of Unlocking Levels is to constantly try to pour into other people, trying to share some of the things that I've been through and that I'm going through in order to help and serve other people and assist people in any way that I can. I'm a firm believer in the energy you put out is the energy that you get, and pretty much that's going to be the topic of today's discussion. So we might as well segue right into it. Energy is huge, and a lot of times I think, and I'm going to include myself in this, we as human beings, we think that our energy is predicated solely on what's going on outside of us, and our mood basically depends on that. You know what I'm saying? So let me break that down a little bit more. But I think that when it's sunny outside and when the birds are chirping and you got a good night's sleep and everything's going well for you, your mood is at a natural high, right? But the moment something kind of changes, whether it's a change in the weather, whether it's getting stuck in traffic or your plans go awry, then now all of a sudden our emotions are kind of spiraling and we're all over the place, and we just kind of lose control of ourselves, right? And again, I'm talking to myself included, you know what I'm saying? So I totally understand that it's something I'm still working on constantly, you know what I'm saying? And all I'm saying that for is to basically set up the stage for what I'm about to say next, which is energy is something that's in your control. It really is. And you may not get it right away because of forceful habits that you've kind of learned and picked up throughout the duration of your life thus far. And, habits are really hard to kick, you know what I'm saying? But especially bad habits, right? And I'm rereading the book Atomic Habits right now. Fantastic book. James Clear, if you haven't read it, please go ahead and read it. It has amazing breakdowns. The dude's story is incredible, from what he had to endure at an early age to what he's done and to what he's currently doing now. It's pretty amazing. And I think one of the main takeaways I've taken from that book is that literally, like, anybody can achieve different things in their life if they put their mindset to it, if they work to change their habits, if they work to work on themselves, right? And that's not always an easy thing to do because of a lot of different things, right? Everybody's different. Everybody's got different situations. So I want to be very mindful of that. But the truth of the matter is, if you really wanted to change your situation, you very much could change your situation. Will it happen in one fell swoop? Nah, it takes time. It takes diligence. It takes intentionality. It takes so many different things, but these are all things that can be developed. These are all things that if you commit to it, you will see the fruits of that progress. You will see the fruits of that labor start to become manifest at some point in your life, right? And going back to today's theme of the episode, which is energy, is the energy that you put out is what you get back. When you understand the energy that you're putting out is essentially the reason why you're getting the results that you're getting in your life, or you find yourself in the situation that you find yourself in your life, then you can start to look at yourself. You can look at yourself in the mirror and say, like, what's causing this? And what can I do to remedy this situation, improve this situation, fix this situation, help this situation, right? And again, it's really hard to see that when it feels like you're carrying such a heavy burden on you and the world is on your shoulders and nothing you seem to do is going right and you can't catch a break. And even that alone, just that state of thinking, can be fixed, can be improved, can be corrected. And once you do start to correct your thinking, then your energy starts to change. And when your energy starts to change, you start to do different things. You start to speak differently. You act differently. You behave differently. You treat people differently. You treat yourself differently. You look at things differently. And when you start to do that, things inevitably will change in your life for the better, right? One thing to keep in mind, I was actually reflecting on this in the shower today, is, when you are a certain type of way and you don't realize it, it could truly hinder your growth. It could truly, I won't say stop it in its tracks, but it can definitely slow the progress down for you. Because no matter what you do, no matter what's going on, no matter what your opinion is, no matter what you think, man, things are changing. Not only in the world around you, but also within you. You're getting older, your body's aging, right? And if you continue to do the same things, not only will you continue to get the same results and find yourself in the same situation, but you'll also start to, your body will have a harder time adapting as it ages, because of you doing the same things, eating the same stuff, consuming the same things, whether that's food, beverages, alcohol, drugs, whatever the case may be. You're only setting yourself back. Not only setting yourself back, you are making it harder for yourself to dig yourself out of that hole. And it's interesting because a lot of people, because it's such a common thing in society, in the world that we live in, a lot of people don't even think that they're in a hole, right? And to each their own. If you feel like you're doing your thing and alcohol doesn't slow you down and weed doesn't slow you down and drugs don't slow you down, this, that, and the third, and you're perfectly content and satisfied with your life, by all means. But if you do have an inner calling that does believe that you can do more, that you can accomplish more, that you can be having a better quality of life, then I encourage you to definitely rethink and restructure your life, right? And it's going to start with just the overhaul is going to take a long time, right? I'm still very much in the process. But it's going to start with the way you think, right? Again, what I said earlier, once you fix your state of mind, once you fix your state of thinking, eventually your energy will be different. The decisions that you make will be different. The choices you make will be different. And when that happens, the results in your life will become different, right? And I can go into the little kind of minutia to it, right? But I'm not going to do that. That's going to be on you, the person that wants to change, to kind of evaluate, okay, what do I want in my life? How do I get it? And what do I do? Right? Like all these different things that need to happen when you come to a realization, you come to a point of understanding of like, yo, man. And I've said this before in other podcast episodes, but you got to get sick and tired of being sick and tired at some point. And you got to, when you finally realize you need change in your life, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be challenging. It's going to put you through the ringer in so many different ways. But at the same time, it's going to be so worth it. And once you get that thing started, once you get the mindset going, the understanding of the possibility that you can improve your life and it's on you. Once you get that started, of course, you're going to find some difficult moments because you're not used to what you're going to get yourself into. You're not even, I wouldn't say you're not ready, because I do believe once you get going, the way will unfold for you. You know what I'm saying? But you have to be able to commit. But what I will say is that, like, once you get going, like, you do got to be gentle with yourself at the same time, because you are basically reprogramming your whole mind. You are changing up the way you think, the way you look at life, the way you do things, and you're challenging yourself. It's a personal thing. You're looking at yourself in the mirror wholeheartedly, just you, yourself, and you're challenging yourself. And that commitment is what's going to help you see yourself through it all. I would definitely say, when you're going through it, when you begin the process, what you definitely want to do is commit to it. A lot of people will do something like write a contract to yourself. I think back to Jim Carrey talking about his childhood and them being super poor, his family being super poor, to where, like, he couldn't even afford a bicycle, or he wanted a bicycle. Family was in no position financially to purchase that bicycle for him, but he wanted it so bad that he willed it to happen, right? And he did at that time kind of take note of the power of just putting that energy, putting that intention out there. It's going to sound all hippy dippy, spiritual woo-woo type stuff, but at the same time, like, I do firmly believe it's real. It's like, you put the intention out there. You don't need to know how it's going to happen, but just knowing that it's going to happen will eventually make it happen. It may not happen when you want it to happen, but it will happen. And Jim Carrey tells a story of him willing himself to get this exact bike that he wanted, knowing full well that his family couldn't get it for him. But somehow magically it ended up in his possession at some point in his life. And I think in that moment he realized to himself that, like, just how valuable he is, just how powerful he is. And I think that we're all the same. We all have this ability to tap into something greater than us, if we so choose to. If we, in going back to the contract situation, the only reason why I brought up Jim Carrey is because he eventually, after that point, came to a realization like, yo, I can do what I want to do in this life. I can create the life that I want. And what he did was a cool thing that he did was he signed a check for $1 million and he dated it in the future. And I mean, do I really need to tell you the rest of the story? Jim Carrey is one of the most famous actors, comedians, funniest people alive. He's a legend. He's one of the GOATs, right? So, you know, I think we can put two and two together, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that he made that $1 million at some point, right? So I guess I say all that to say is, like, it's the energy. And then, you know, it wasn't like it just magically appeared, right? Like the bike thing was a little different, right? Like, you would have to look into that story yourself, and there's clips all over the internet of him explaining that story, and I butchered the hell out of it. But the point stands in that if you put the intention out there, if you change your energy, you change your thought process, your whole structure in your life will change. And when that does, the results will follow. Again, it may not happen when you want it to happen. It's not going to happen just like that in the snap of a fingers. Nah, it takes time, takes all these different things, man. But what I've found on my journey is little by little is better than no progress at all. And interestingly enough, when you start little by little and you add a little bit here, you know, subtract something that's not serving you in the same fashion, right? And you just keep going. Eventually you create momentum, you create flow, you start to see a lot of progress, you start to feel a lot of progress, you feel different, you move different, your results become different. And I'm very much in that process. I'm learning. But I will say, for anybody that's out there that wants different in their life, man, you're going to have to really kind of look within. You're going to have to look at your situation and assess what it is that you are unhappy with. And, you know, you're going to have to make some hard choices, some really difficult decisions. But those are all personal things, right? And sometimes they're going to be so hard to the point where, like, you might even have to sever ties with people just because it's like the right thing to do for yourself, right? And it may be hard in the beginning. I don't know who needs to hear this. It may be hard in the beginning when you sever ties with other people, especially those that are kind of not helping you, that are not on your side for real, and that are not serving you in any type of way. As a matter of fact, they're hurting you, they're toxic towards you. It might be that time to just sever them ties, as hard as that may seem. But when you do, and you eventually see the sun behind the clouds, man, things brighten up for you. Your energy's different. You feel freer. And when you feel freer, clarity comes in. You're able to see things from a different vantage point, and you could just start moving different. You start choosing different. You start doing different. And again, it leads to different results. So all of that is energy in a nutshell, right? So when you change your energy, it starts with the mindset, right? When you change your mindset, your energy changes, your actions changes, your behaviors change, and you start to realize, like, yo, I'm learning how to control myself and control what I do. It doesn't matter what's going on around me. It could be snowing. All sorts of crazy things could be happening. but you're learning how to control yourself. You're learning more about yourself, right? And what you're capable of. And every single day, you're adding to it. You're staying locked in. You're staying the course. You're really just locked into the program. And when you do that, man, good things happen. It ain't easy, but it's definitely worth it. And, I, for one, can speak on that. It's something that, making this huge overhaul in your life is not an easy thing to do by far, but with enough time and after you felt the progress, you don't even want to look back. You don't even want to do the same things that you were doing before, because you realize that you deserve better. You realize that you can do more, and you realize, in my position, that people are depending on me. I got people in my life that look to me for a lot of different things, and I mean, I want to be able to deliver. I want to be able to show up. I want to be able to be my best self, and I want to shape my life and the life around me for those around me in the best possible way. And that's, something that I'm working towards. I've been working towards, you know what I'm saying? And I know in due time, everything that I imagine will come to life. So, with that being said, man, I really appreciate y'all being here, man. I don't want to speak too much about the plans I have for what's to happen in 2026. Just want to take it one day at a time. I want to be present with what I'm doing, but I will say that I am committing definitely to creating more again, getting back on here, sharing myself with y'all, and yeah, man, and I'm going to continue to do what I said in this episode, which is to just keep building, putting good energy out there as best as I can, learning how to do that on a bigger scale, and just letting the chips fall where they may, and just trusting the process. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing for sure, is I can control myself, and I'm learning how to do that more and more each day. So kudos to any of y'all that's on this path, that's on that individual journey, and living intentionally and working towards something better, man. I salute y'all, man. And as always, big love to all y'all. Thank you so much for tapping in to Unlocking Levels. And it feels great to be back. I hope to see more of y'all, and I definitely plan for y'all to see more of me. But anyway, man, y'all take care, stay up. God bless.